Hello, I'm Amy and this is Henry. And we today are baking a very special recipe. Today was actually the first time that I ever saw the cover of the Tahini Table cookbook. That is my cookbook on behalf of Soom Foods and tahini lovers everywhere to make tahini a more accessible ingredient in the average American home cook's pantry. That was really, me, Shelby, Jackie's dream when we got started. If you want to know what Henry's digging right now, it's just a little bit of sesame seeds mixed with some sugar right here. Okay, that's going to be the topping on our sugar cookies. So I had the opportunity to write this cookbook and worked with the amazing Andrew Schloss. Andy is a very notable cookbook author, award-winning writer, and it was an amazing experience cooking with him because he really brought to light and brought to specific recipes for me everything that I had been thinking, this is going way overboard, for tahini and its application in the kitchen. Full disclosure, I'm not a huge baker, but Andy was amazing. He, for a different cookbook, wrote a cookie index. And so he understood the composition of tahini and applied it into the perfect cookie. And so as we were developing this and testing it, this really reminds me of Mrs. Fields cookies. If you guys ever got the sugar cookies at the mall, those were some of my favorite. And these cookies come out super chewy, really delicious and sweet, and so awesome. It looks like my cookies are not going to be having toppings today, but that's really no big deal because the toppings are optional. If you're like me and you have trouble following recipes, which to be honest is one of my issues and why it was so great to work with Andy, what I'm going to do here is first I'm going to read through the entire recipe and then I'm going to assemble it with Henry. So you'll have to forgive me if I mess anything up once we get going. Henry is a little bit distracting, super hysterical and awesome, but it's just like cooking in your real kitchen, Something can be distracting, maybe you don't do it perfectly, but either way, we are going to get through this together. Tahini sugar cookies, like a classic peanut butter cookie crossed with shortbread. These very plain and wonderfully rich biscuits are perfect with a cup of coffee or tea. Or honestly, I just eat them all day long. So it calls for 6 tablespoons or about 3/4 of a stick of unsalted butter. I love my Kerrygold butter, so it's not 3/4, but they do measure out the tablespoons on the back. So cut 6 tablespoons of butter. You want that at room temperature, so get a little prepared before you start baking. A 1/2 cup of premium tahini. I have that in this bowl. Henry, what color is the bowl? Blue. Blue. The other color he knows is orange, so that was just a sneaky thing I did. 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, which we do have in the orange bowl. We also have a 1/2 cup of packed light brown sugar, a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, which I put with my granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, which I have doled out here, 1 large egg, got it, 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, which I have in this medium-sized bowl over to my left, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, which I have in that flour. So we're going to set 2 oven racks near the center of the oven. We're going to turn the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and line those with parchment paper or silicone baking mats. We're going to beat the butter, tahini, granulated sugar, brown sugar, and salt in a large bowl with a wooden spoon until just combined. That's what I forgot. I need to get the wooden spoon, which I think my husband threw away because he hates wooden spoons. So we will make this work. So we'll see how this goes. Next time, have a wooden spoon when you're about to make this. You should see all the sesame seeds on my kitchen floor right now. Do you want a flour, Hen? Wow, look at that. Okay, so we're going to beat the butter. What do you want? Another flour? Which one, the green one or the yellow one? Butter? Huh. Let's see what you think. The butter, tahini. This is all going into the large bowl. I'm going to scrape the tahini. There, good. So making this cookbook was really a dream come true. When we started Soom, we wanted tahini to be a pantry staple in the American market, but we realized that people really didn't know how to use it beyond making hummus. And so creating these 100 plus recipes of tahini for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and every meal in between. This was really exciting and actually really added a lot of value to my cooking with tahini at home. So that has just been amazing. We're also going to put in the large bowl the granulated sugar, the brown sugar, and the salt. So the salt's in there, sugar, brown sugar. Awesome. And then we're gonna beat and mix that. So while Andy could tell you probably 1,000 reasons why a wooden bowl is perfect for that, do you want to help me, Henry? We are just gonna give this a try to beat it. And honestly, if it doesn't work out that well with me and Henry right now, I'm just gonna continue the recipe so that we get it all down here and try to keep mixing it even after we part ways here. Then we're gonna mix in the egg and the vanilla. So I'm gonna crack the egg, which has also come to room temperature. God, I really hope I don't get any shells in there. Perfect. Keep going, Henya. Can you keep beating it? Eggs and vanilla. Good job. Then once this is all beaten together, which I'll be totally honest, ours needs a little bit more work, if you can see here. So I'm gonna get that going. The Tahini Table is gonna be available in November. It has a fall release date, so November of 2020, and it's available wherever books are sold. It was really surreal today when the publisher Agate sent me the links to Amazon, independent bookstores, all the places where you can typically buy books online, and saw that it was listed for pre-order there. So, whoa. Which color do you want?
Red.
Red, okay. My philosophy on having a kid is like, if you have things around that they can play with, let them play with it. And if, oh, there's a flower petal in my batter. You're hysterical, Henry. Battering this up, battering it up, getting this mixed together. If I had a wooden spoon, this would have been done a long time ago. But honestly, there's really no rush. Henry's not super upset right now. We're not upset at all. Is that funny? So as the batter gets mixed together, next we're gonna fold in our dry ingredients. I mix the flour and baking soda in a small bowl, and then we're gonna stir this mixture into the batter until it's no longer visible. So that just goes in a little bit at a time. We're gonna mix it up. We're gonna see how long this takes without the right tools. That was something that was really important to me when we were writing the Tahini Table, is I am the epitome of a home cook. I, don't necessarily have all the right equipment. So I wanted the book to be accessible. I wanted the recipes to be easy. I didn't want to use a lot of equipment that maybe people didn't have or didn't have space for in their homes. And this is like a perfect example of that. It doesn't call for a baking, mixer, cake mixer, anything like that. You can definitely get this stuff incorporated just using a spoon, or you can always use your hands. It's really good when you're prepping tahini recipes to really actually pre-portion out the tahini part. I'm telling you right now, pouring straight from the jar and measuring, it's gonna drip, it's gonna get messy. It's really worth just doing the little bit of extra time and work to measure the tahini out, get everything all cleaned up, and then go about, putting together the rest of your recipe. So these sugar cookies are amazing. Just to let you know how they're gonna wrap up, because I think I'm losing time with Henry since the sesame seeds are out. We're gonna scoop the batter with a 1 tablespoon measure and arrange as mounds on the prepared pans about 1.5 inches apart. There should be about 10 cookies per sheet. So then you can wet your hands a little bit and flatten the mounds so that each is just a little bit thick. Julie, our digital marketing manager, has made these cookies a bunch in our R&D and testing of the cookbook, and we like them a little bit less pressed, but totally to your discretion. And as you start making them, I think you'll get a feel for the texture and thickness as you bake it. An option is to sprinkle the tops with sesame seeds and raw sugar, but as you can see, we're not going to do that today. And then you're going to bake until the bottoms are lightly brown, just 10 minutes. And then switch the pans between the racks halfway through. Cool the cookies before you eat them. And then you can store these in a closed container for up to 4 days, or freeze for a while, like up to a month. So these are the Tahini Sugar Cookies from the Tahini Table Cookbook. I think we're all done. I just want to say thanks so much. We're really excited about this cookbook. It is sold wherever books are sold. And all done.